Hi there, this is Ailsa Piper coming to you from my writing room in Sydney. I wish I could be there with you, but this is probably as close as we'll get for a little while. So I had written something that I was going to deliver very eloquently, and it was about sunsets, and it was about the liminal space between day and night, and it was about all manner of things that I thought were sort of clever. And when I started to do it, I felt like a fraud. And I thought, actually, the thing I love most is when we try to be true, when people try to be true to each other and with each other. And so I thought I'd try and do that. And in lockdown, I think the strangest thing for me has been that in my flat, no one has come into my flat at all, not even for a cup of tea, for 8.5 weeks. I live alone, and there are people and there's movement around me, but no one's been inside. And I thought the thing I would love most, so it may indeed be the thing I love most, is a cup of tea with a mate and a chat. So I'm just going to give you a version of that, which might be very selfish, but here we go. Cheers. I've got an English breakfast. I thought what I'd do, and I'm not a cinematographer, is I would try to show you some of my space and what matters to me, because this is the room I live in the most, and it's full of things I love. So if you'll come with me, well, in fact, we can talk a little bit from here. See there's a little seahorse. I love seahorses. Hippocampus. We have two of them somewhere here, and they're what holds memory. And I swim each day in a place where there are seahorses living. So I have come to see them as totems, and I adore them. And that little seahorse I found in a shop in Newtown not long after I came to Sydney. And my memory was very stuck in Melbourne, where I had lived with my husband who had died. And somehow the seahorses, as I learned to swim, came to represent something important to me. They're creatures that mate for life, amazingly. And a seahorse's life can be reasonably long, I think 6 years. The male carries the babies, 3 weeks gestation. They dance in their courtship and they change colour as they're courting. So that little image there represents something quite potent for me, and it's printed onto the pages of a dictionary. And of course, I would love dictionaries anyway, but there is a memory, a hippocampus moment that's tied to my husband, because every day he would consult the dictionary for half an hour a day just for pleasure. So meaning is something that I look for, not just in dictionaries, but in the natural world. And the seahorse sort of represents that. Now I'm going to see if I can just pick you up. Oh dear, this is going to be exciting. And take you on a little journey. There, look at that. So that picture I bought back in the days when I was an actor, and she represents unmitigated joy to me. I used to do this perhaps slightly weird thing when I was an actor, which was I would put 1 week's salary towards a picture by an artist, and it would remember for me the importance and the value and the experience of that particular role. She was actually the first week when I got Neighbours, I bought her. She seemed to me to represent a particular kind of freedom. And the character in Neighbours was a bit like that. But more to the point, I was able to put a down payment on a house for my darling dad with Neighbours money. And Dad is still alive. He's 91. He lives in Western Australia. And when you talk about the things I love most, he's right up there. And I can't see him at the moment, and it breaks my heart, like lots of us. We're estranged from people. But she has all that in her, and she's a joy. So let's see if I can get you closer to her without tripping over something. There she is. Jessica Lewin Clark painted her. And down here, I don't know if we can do this. This is kind of tricky stuff. This is an envelope. See this? And it's made by a young designer I worked with, and it's fabric. And we were looking at materials for things that would be costumes for our actors, and she made me and sent me this beautiful envelope, and inside it there is a letter written to me that was also fabric, and I love it very, very much. And it speaks to me of all manner of wonderful things: teaching, directing, beautiful scripts. Out there you can see a little bit of what I look onto, and it's a bit hard, it's a bit washed out at the moment, but that little wee church, see it there? It's very old. It's from just after convict times in Sydney, and the bells ring, and it reminds me of villages in Europe when I've been walking, but it also reminds me that I live in a village and I'm deeply connected to people here, and I hope to stay long enough to get more connected. Over here there's a whole heap of things that matter to me, bits of writing, bits of stuff that matters. And I would like to read you a poem. I thought there should be one literary thing. So you're going to have a different view as I read this to you, and I hope that will be okay. So it's by a person called Sheena Pugh. She writes terrific poetry, and I love this one, and I think it's kind of nice for now. It's called Sometimes. Sometimes things don't go, after all, from bad to worse. Some years, muscadel faces down frost. Green thrives. The crops don't fail. Sometimes a man aims high and all goes well. A people sometimes will step back from war, elect an honest man, decide they care enough that they can't leave some stranger poor. Some men become what they were born for. Sometimes our best efforts do not go amiss. Sometimes we do as we meant to. The sun will sometimes melt a field of sorrow that seemed hard frozen. May it happen for you. I love that poem. Coming back around here, there's a whole heap of things I love. There's me swimming. I only learned to swim when I came to live here. So swimming is something I love with a ridiculous passion, the passion of the convert. And that's my daily swimmer friend. Rain, hail or shine, winter or summer, we're there. Up there is my late husband, Peter. Things I love, he's right up there, what can I say? Down here is my late mother, and yeah, she died a long time ago, and I loved her dearly, and I miss her still every day. People who are not with us are with us, aren't they? Thank goodness. And I feel like I'm surrounded in this room by the things and the people I love. There are pictures. My sister drew that picture. You can't get me and it together, I don't think, but that is me as I feel, as she interprets it, after a swim. Pretty damn good. It's nice having someone in my home, even though you're not. I hope that your COVID days are full of things and people you love, and that you contact them however you can. And I just thought that maybe to finish up, I would read you something from here. And I hope that what you get in the background is reasonably interesting, because I've got to look here to read it. It's Raymond Carver. It's a fragment, but it's fabulous. And did you get what you wanted from this life, even so? I did. And what did you want? To call myself beloved, to feel myself beloved on the earth. Wherever you are in these strange days, and whatever you're doing in these weird days, I hope you get to call yourself beloved, and I hope you get to call someone beloved, and I hope you get to call a place beloved, and I hope you get a cup of tea. Bye. That is good.